drink here. 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Goat Shed Sports Podcast. As always, I'm Nick. Connected alongside me is the sizzling Jacob Bowles. Jacob, how you doing today?
I am fantastic, Nick, and we are back with some more NBA action. Another week has gone by in the bubble, and I think most teams have played around 5 games so far.
4 to 5.
As of
4 to
today,
5.
4 or 5. So we've got some stuff to talk about. We're not really going to go too in depth on most of the games, like specifically talking about them. But
we're just we're gonna go with the big storylines and the big storylines and what has happened in the bubble, performances and like stretches of games for teams and stuff like that. Instead of going into just like we did last week where we kind of just went through the stats and talked about the game, we're kind of gonna go with the overlying storyline of just the bubble and everything that's happened the last week.
Yeah, so there's been some pretty big news going around, but we are gonna start with August 2nd, which was last Sunday. We didn't get to talk about this day yet because we recorded then.
Mm-hmm.
But on that day, kind of like, I guess the big news was a big upset by the Suns beating the Mavericks. I mean,
Luka had 48 and 11 that game, and they still lost. I mean, dude, D-Book's averaging like 30 points a game on 50% shooting from the floor.
Yeah, I mean, he's been playing unbelievable in the bubble, and just I guess we can go a little in the future. The Suns are 5-0 in the bubble, which is if you're going to pick any team
because like we said this in our earlier podcast, we're like it's good. The Pelicans and the Trailblazers are going to be fighting for that 9th seed, and the Pelicans have the worst record right now in the West, and it's the freaking Suns and the Spurs and the Trailblazers. Like, the Spurs, I think, plateaued off, but I mean, with the Trailblazers breaking more fourth wall stuff, last night they lost to the Clippers where Damian Lillard missed free throws. There was beef and stuff that game. We'll talk about that later. But that put the Suns a half game behind the Trailblazers. So now, if the Trailblazers go 2-1 out of their next 3 games, and the Suns go 3-0, they get the freaking spot. And I think even if the Grizzlies
the Grizzlies have to lose
out, then I think
both teams can get in.
Then Portland and Phoenix can get in. But if the Grizzlies win one more because of the lead they had for themselves already coming into this, then they'll be fine. But I mean, every part of me wants to see the Trailblazers in the playoffs because I think they're the team that can give LeBron the best run for their money. But Devin Booker needs this playoff experience, and I think I'd rather watch the Suns get swept by the Lakers just so D-Book, after 5 years, can finally make the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, it's a weird situation, and we still got 3 games left. It's gonna come down to the final day. I mean, any one of those teams can really get in still at this point. I don't know. Yeah, the Kings still have a chance, but we'll get further into it. But
the Kings blew it against the Nets, man. They blew it.
Yeah, I mean they had their chances, they haven't been taking
it. Big basketball coming today, man. The Trailblazers and the Sixers play, and the Grizzlies and the Raptors play.
Yeah, speaking of last Sunday the Grizzlies lost a tight one to the Spurs, which they haven't been performing very well in the bubble.
And then they lost Jaren Jackson Jr., which is
they lost one of their better players, so
arguably their best player in the bubble.
Yeah, they're kind of in a panic right now because, I mean, even if they do still hold on to the 8th seed, they've got to play the Blazers or that 9th seed. They still got to get into the playoffs, and if they do, they still got to play the Lakers down. It's just not going to be pretty no matter what happens.
I think the only team that can make it pretty is the Trailblazers. I think if anyone else does get this 9th spot, it's going to be 5-4 games. I think the Trailblazers can take them to 6. Probably not beat them, but could take them to 6. And I feel like I saw this in a podcast. Well, I guess not saw. Heard this in a podcast that I listened to. And he was like, if you're a Lakers fan, wouldn't you rather play Portland over one of those 2 crappy teams? Because if you're a Lakers fan, you have the utmost confidence you're going to beat them, and wouldn't you like to be challenged in the first round and so to get your guys going in a way more than just having like an easy walk?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I can see that, especially since the Lakers have lost 4 out of their last 5 games.
Yeah,
so I mean, they kind of need that.
Care. They don't care.
I mean, yeah,
they got the first seed clinched. Why they don't want to?
They secured the 1 seed a while ago, but I mean, like just for them to, I guess,
already
feel that playoff pressure, actually compete against one of the tougher teams. Because I mean, the West is very, very good this year, and any one of these teams win a game any single day. So it's just
I feel like as if I'm in the headspace of the Lakers, it's like we are already missing 2 of our primary guards in our rotation with Rondo and Avery Bradley. We have the first seed clinched. Let's not. LeBron's 35. Anthony Davis is injury prone. Let's not go too crazy here. Let's get into the playoffs with a healthy roster and go win this thing.
Yeah, I still have the utmost confidence in them that they're probably going to at least make it to the Western Conference Finals. But
man, a battle of LA's got to happen, or else
it's got to happen. I mean, we're most likely going to see it, but like I said, anything could happen. I mean, as of right now,
Nuggets have been looking good with Michael Porter Jr. Oh my
Nuggets
God.
have been looking good.
Michael Porter Jr. has.
Rockets have been looking good.
Oh, Rockets been looking good. I guess the team I wanted to touch on because they recently lost their first game to the Celtics, but man, the Raptors were on a tear.
Yeah, the Raptors were. We're also one of the undefeated teams along with the Suns.
In that Raptors Heat game that was on Monday, August the 3rd, I watched every last second of that as, a Heat fan, and oh my gosh, I was very torn because I just wanted to beat the Raptors because they hadn't beat us yet this season. But if anyone that's listening to this podcast knows, me and Jacob love Fred VanVleet. All right, and Freddie gave us 36, and he was contagious from 3, and I could not be mad because I'm like, dude, I love this guy, but stop.
We need to talk about one player who's been standing above the rest in the bubble.
TJ Warren?
TJ Warren has been
unstoppable
in the bubble.
He's had one bad game, and it was against the Suns, who it's understandable because that's his old team. He got drafted to, and they traded him like out of nowhere for a pick. And now look at what he's doing this year. I mean, he probably averaged damn near 20 points a game this season. And
I think it's close to something 30-ish in the bubble.
Oh, and then he's averaging 35 in the bubble, and I think it's 63% shooting. True shooting.
I mean, what, he didn't miss his first game, something like that, I thought?
No, I think he went into halftime perfect.
He might have been the first half. He was like 8 for 8 or something like that. But still, I mean, very impressive stuff out of him. And I hope this kind of transitions into next year even. He gave people buckets at NC State in college. I mean, his whole career, I think he's close to 18 points a game over his career. Like, he's a bucket. And now you just come alive in this like weird time with no fans. The depth perception's different. No one you're just in an open gym in a way, and he's going crazy. But I mean, the Pacers were kind of someone we kind of wrote off a little bit for.
Well, yeah, because of Brogdon and Sabonis. Brogdon's injury coming back and forth. Sabonis is out. Victor Oladipo wasn't gonna play, and now he's playing, and he's not playing good. But it's like TJ Warren's just carrying these teams, and guess what, Jacob? Tomorrow, Miami and the Pacers play. TJ and Jimmy Butler, who's missed the last 3 games, says he said he plans to play. It's the Jimmy versus TJ. Oh man, what's gonna happen if the Pacers win this game? They're also the 4th seed. They're tied right now. Heat and the Pacers.
As of right now, they would play the Heat in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, TJ Warren gonna give buckets? Is Jimmy gonna? I'm so excited for that game, and I'm gonna be so upset if TJ Warren, just destroys us. But oh my God, TJ Warren no one saw this coming.
No
one saw this coming.
If I had to pick anyone to drop 50 points in the bubble,
James Harden.
I would pick James. I mean, James Harden had 49 the one 49. Game, so he was close. But hey, props to TJ Warren.
You're picking James Harden. You're picking Luka. You're picking Giannis. You're not picking TJ Warren. You're picking Dame, Joel Embiid. You're picking Anthony Davis. Hell, you're picking Zion. You're not picking TJ Warren.
Yeah, speaking of Zion, the Pelicans have been surprisingly not effective or that good.
Even after the NBA gave them the easiest schedule.
I mean, they had the easiest schedule at the end of the year, but still, they're 3-5. They lost 3 out of their 5 games in the bubble. They are sitting in the 12th seed right now. a full game behind the Trailblazers, so they've got a lot of catching up to do in 3 games, and they kind of need to bank on winning all 3 of their
it's just
leftover games
the
at this
fact
point.
that on Thursday this week they lost to the Kings, like in a convincing loss. They lost by 15 probably to the Kings.
It was not good, yeah.
And then they come back the next day with they don't. I understand they're playing the Wizards, but they didn't even play Zion. It's like, do you even want to make the playoffs? Like, I understand Zion's on a minute restriction and everything, but and I understand it's the Wizards. They did win, but it's like you got to give. It just seems like they don't care.
Yeah, I thought the Pelicans were for sure at least gonna.
Oh yeah.
At least try to get that 9th seed, or maybe them and Portland push for the 8-9 together. But I did not expect them to drop all the way down to the 12 in the Suns. I saw some infographic that said it was an ESPN Power Index that gave the Suns less than a 0.1% chance to make the playoffs.
It's still going to be hard for them to make it because they're probably going to have to win out. And I believe their schedule is the Mavericks they play again, who they've already beat. The Thunder they play Monday, and then I think they play the Sixers Tuesday.
But I think a lot of I guess the Thunder are still fighting for the 5-6 seed, but a lot of these teams kind of don't have anything to lose at this point.
Yeah, especially with the Sixers. I guess that's one thing to talk about real quick. I don't think Ben Simmons is going to play this postseason.
No, Ben Simmons already left the bubble.
Oh yeah, he left for surgery. I saw reports if they made a deep run, he could come back, but I think that's just reporters being optimistic. That's a blow for the Sixers in a way, but is it a blow? Because don't you feel like every year, since Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons have been the trust the process Philly duo, they have never gone into the playoffs healthy together, and don't you feel like in a way, the storyline, the narrative is always that they play better without each other and the team does better when they're not on the floor together? I feel like we're going to get in here, the Sixers are going to take the first 2 games on the Celtics and everyone's going to be like, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid can't work together, look.
It's just they have 2 kind of conflicting play styles. Obviously Ben Simmons is not the greatest shooter.
You add Al Horford onto that team and Tobias Harris, who's obviously struggling in shooting this year, and it's just they're just so dysfunctional this year.
They just have a weird kind of combination, but they're still they're still a pretty good team. They can give anyone a run. It's just unfortunate they're gonna have to play the Celtics too. I think
especially if Ben's is dysfunctional and is bad on defense and talking and shooting they've been this year. I feel like if Ben Simmons was healthy, I wouldn't be surprised as the 6th seed if they went to the NBA Finals. Their roster is just that talented with Tobias, Al Horford, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Shake Milton's been a beast, Josh Richardson, Fred Kirknott. I can't pronounce his name, but he's a bucket. I hate the freaking Sixers. I want to see Ben Simmons out. Just imagine Ben Simmons on a Milwaukee-style team, where he's just surrounded with shooters. Because think about Milwaukee. They got Brook Lopez. They got DiVincenzo. They got Wesley Matthews. Pat Connaughton can kind of shoot. Chris Middleton's a bucket. Eric Bledsoe is a decent shooter, great defender. And then...
Robin Lopez is also...
Robin Lopez has expanded the game. It's just that's the perfect team for Giannis because he can just drive and go be a bully in the paint. And if he doesn't get it, he's got a shooter. And then that's just not the case in Philadelphia when your arguably best player is taking up that post from the playmaker in Ben Simmons. And it's Joel Embiid, therefore trying to work with Ben Simmons, settles for a lot of stupid jump shots that he can't hit. When you look at Joel Embiid, and I'm like, dude, I don't think there's an NBA player that could stop him. I think you need a prime Shaq to stop him in the post. It pisses me off. Stop shooting stupid threes.
He's definitely one of the most dominant big men in the league. And
dude,
it's just unfortunate he doesn't have the threats outside to kind of do his work inside because, everybody's clogging the paint. They know what they're going to do. And it's just kind of easy to stop them, really, at this point.
Yeah, exactly. If Ben Simmons could learn how to shoot, man, he'd be,
a lot more dangerous. They traded away Markelle Fultz, who has kind of
he had a good bounce back year in Orlando.
Yeah, this year he's been playing much better. He's been
and then losing JJ to the Pelicans is big.
Yeah, that's
because JJ's that guy who, as old as he is, I mean, he can.
And they lost Robert Covington.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the 3 and D and Covington. I mean, yeah, it's just, man, it sucks for the Sixers, but screw those guys.
I didn't think they were really gonna win anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But
I mean, I guess something to talk about is we're still in this Western Conference playoff push, with the Trailblazers holding that 9th seed. I mean, yesterday, Portland loses to Clippers after Damian misses 2 free throws to win the game. He had 1 to win it, 1 to tie it. He's an 89% three-point shooter. I saw Jeff Hollinger tweeted out for The Athletic. He was like, the statistics for it, and it was like the percentage of an 89% career free throw shooter missing 2 free throws in a row is 1.23%.
Yeah, that's very unlike him, and I mean, there was just a bunch of kind of drama that went on and ensued after that game where Paul George tried to call Damian Lillard out on Instagram in an Instagram comment, and then Dame proceeded to tell about how he just dodges and doesn't respect the grind of trying to win a championship with like a one team. And
so what it was in the post game, so early in Damian Lillard's, I believe, second year in the playoffs, he sent the Rockets home, and he hit a buzzer beater with Pat Bev on him. And then, obviously last year he hit that buzzer beater that disbanded the Thunder and made Paul George want to get out and go to the Clippers and Westbrook go to the Rockets. And so basically Dame was saying, like, I'm not worried about it. They're talking trash in a regular season game. I've sent them both home in the playoffs. They know how it feels. And then Paul George comes at him and goes, yeah, but we're going to send you home this year.
He said, quote, and you getting sent home this year,
and
respect.
And then
Dame said, keep switching teams, running from the grind. You boys is chumps.
I love that, man. Because I feel like nowadays in the NBA, everybody is buddies and hugging each other, and I just love it when we find that beef. Like, Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook has always been that beef. I feel like Pat Bev with everybody has always been that beef because he's just a little fuckstick sometimes. But it's like, dude, I love the beef, and I love it. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, the bubble's actually been way more intense than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be everybody hanging out, like you said, being buddy, but it's definitely been some very tough competition. Everybody's really trying to win and try to do their best this year, and it's been showing. I mean, these games have been very a lot of these games have been very close. I mean, there's been very few just like straight blowouts.
I feel like the only day of blowouts was Friday this week. I feel like I don't think I watched a single basketball game Friday. I feel like it was all just But another like little beef thing, since we're talking about the beef and the intensity, did you see? When was it? It was probably like, I don't even know what day it was. It was Wednesday. Wednesday when the Raptors and the Magic played. Aaron Gordon and Kyle Lowry got into a little bit, and they were working at each other. And Kyle Lowry was telling him his room number. Like, oh, I love it. Especially because that's the first round matchup right now, right? It's the Raptors and the Magic, right? The Magic are the 7th seed right now.
No, Bucks are number 1 seed. Magic are 8. Right now.
Magic are 8. Oh, I thought Magic were 7.
No, they've lost. They've lost 3 in a row.
Oh, what bums.
Yeah, so they'll be playing the Bucks anyway. So it doesn't look like we'll get a
Aaron Gordon, Kyle Lowry.
We will not get a Raptors Magic series. I do not believe.
Darn it! Darn it!
I mean, hey, they're only a game and a half behind the Nets, so if they win out, maybe
anything's possible.
Anything's possible in the bubble. We've kind of come to learn that at this point.
Man, how about the can we give a congratulations to the Charlotte Hornets on officially becoming the 9th seed in the East?
Yes, I did see that actually.
The Wizards fell to 10, and the Hornets aren't even there.
Without playing a single game, the Hornets are the 9th seed.
I mean, to be fair, the Wizards don't have 3 starters with them down there. It's just so funny, though.
I mean, yeah, they have a lower win percentage than the Hornets right now, but I mean, we kind of knew going into this that
the Wizards didn't have a chance.
Had no chance of making.
They were just there because they had to put an East team in. They had to.
They had a chance, but it was not going to happen whatsoever, and we've seen that. I mean, without Bradley Beal, without John Wall, it's just they're just there to get some cardio. And I saw someone tweet. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and they're there to get reps in. They got young guys like Troy Brown Jr., Roy Hachimura that they just want to get reps in and play professional basketball, which is understandable. They're there. Rui's he's been balling. I don't know if I feel like I don't know if I talked about this with you or our buddy Nate. I don't know if I said this on the podcast or I said this when I was talking to Nate in Discord, but I think Roy's about to be a Rudy Gay-esque player. Did we talk about that, or was that me with Nate?
You must have talked that with Nate.
Yeah, I mean, watching him play, I feel like he's just going to be like that, like, decent starter, great role player, player. Like Rudy Gay, everyone knows who Rudy Gay is. He's not an all-star, but he's, always you want Rudy Gay on your team. He's always, been a good, solid... I wouldn't say role player because he's not a role player, but he's
he performs like
he's like Jay Crowder, he's a good role player, can be a good starter if you need it, that type of player.
He has good days, and then he's very consistent, like a good consistent player.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of I was gonna say Mike Conley, but Mike Conley is just the greatest player never to become an all-star. I don't know. He's just like a Swiss Army knife, I guess. Yeah, he's kind of like Jeff Green back in the day.
I did not know. Oh, sorry. I hate to cut you off.
Oh, no. Go for it.
Jamal Murray was back in the
bubble. He
restarted on Saturday. I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, he had a pretty good game. He had 23
points.
Yeah, I love Jamal Murray's game. I feel like if him and Michael Porter can coexist together, how they've been playing, I feel like we've probably been saying this every year, for the last 3 or 4 years. But bro, the Nuggets could go to the finals, man.
I was gonna say, I was just about to ask you. The next 5 years, do the Nuggets win a championship?
I think if Michael Porter Jr. keeps going down this path, they could. Because when Michael Porter Jr. was coming, he was the #1 high school recruit, had his back problems. But yeah. This guy can be as good as any all-star in the league. And Jokic is the best center in the league. I'm sorry, Joel Embiid's great. I think Jokic is the best center. Jamal Murray is a great point guard. They have great young players in Bol. They got great role players within, we got Gary Harris, Will Barton. They got a good team. It's just putting it together. And if Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic and Murray can play together and be a big three, I could see them going this year, man. Their team is good. What?
I'm looking at the Jazz. Hold on, my bad. I'm at Denver. Yeah,
they're a good team.
They've been a top 4 seed the last 2-3 years.
Exactly, because of just Jokic, and now they're adding this. Porter in this bubble has been, he's probably averaging high 20 points per game. He's had one bad game, and that was his first game, the first game of the bubble against Miami, where it's his first real basketball game. Because he played a little bit of minutes here and there at the before the season disbanded, but that was his first minutes since coming back with his back injury. So it's it was basically his first full basketball game probably since he played that last couple of games at Mizzou before the NBA when he came in and he got to play a couple of games before the season ended. And it's man, this guy is so good. I was seeing so many Kevin Durant comparisons and watching him play. He's just like a buff Kevin Durant, low key.
A better Brandon Ingram, you'd say?
Could be. Brandon Ingram's more of a carbon copy of Kevin Durant, like how Kobe is a carbon copy Kobe is a carbon copy of Jordan, and Brandon Ingram is a carbon copy of Kevin Durant. I just Michael Porter is just
he just looks so smooth with it. He looks so natural.
He's
and just
too big to be a small forward, but he's too small to be a power forward. What is he? How? He's good, and I can see this Nugget team making noise this year, but I feel like we say that every year is the only problem. They haven't really had that success, but Jokic is in the best shape of his life. Murray's coming back and looking hot. Porter's looking hot. If Gary Harris can come back and be Gary Harris, Will Barton can come back. Bol at overhyped. He might be good one day. They got good bench players in Mason Plumlee and Jahmai Grant. Monte Morris is a shooter. Torrey Craig is a good role player. Paul Millsap is Paul Millsap. He's been an all-star in this league. He's someone you want on your team. He's a good starter. He knows how to win. This team is good.
I like their chances a lot.
This team could ruin our Battle of the LA. because they'd play the Clippers in the second round, right? Or the third? Yeah.
They would play them in the second.
They could. This could. It could very easily be Lakers and Nuggets. Like I wouldn't be surprised by that. Like this is a good basketball team.
Oh man,
I'm high on the Nuggets. I'm high on this playoffs. You don't know who's it gonna be. Like I feel like I think we said this like way back in one of our first podcasts when we were talking about if the season does come back. But I'm pretty sure me and you both agreed that we wouldn't be surprised if the finals were like the Denver Nuggets and the Boston Celtics, or if it was the Lakers and the Bucks, the Clippers and the Heat. Like we wouldn't be surprised if it was any of these teams because no one knows truly how this is gonna end.
Yeah, I mean any of these teams kind of deserve to be in the finals if they were to make it. I'd love to see. I mean, I personally want to see LeBron in there.
Oh,
I mean,
everyone does.
He's my favorite. I mean, I'd love to see him, but even if someone else were to make it, say the Rockets actually made it to the finals this year, I would not be upset. I mean, I would like James Harden to actually compete for a ring, or I'd like to see the Raptors make it back there without Kawhi.
They could, bro. And if they do, Freddie is getting Finals MVP, baby. Because we've seen how that man plays in the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, that man is a bucket. We saw him in Game 6. Remember that?
You saw Steph Curry run away from Fred VanVleet.
Fred VanVleet, if the Raptors make it back, will win Finals MVP. I'm calling it now. He's going to average like 26 points a game. He's going to be an absolute unit. And then he's going to... Fred VanVleet's going to get like a 90 to $100 million contract this offseason. The man is a bucket. He was a borderline all-star this year. He was... one of the best players in the finals last year. This man is a walking bucket. And one thing I wanted to talk about, because I feel like he's getting outshined by the Phoenix Suns and TJ Warren, Luka is averaging 35 points, 12 rebounds, and almost 12 assists in the bubble.
I mean, last night he had, almost 40, he had 19 assists and 12 rebounds.
He's had a 20 rebound game already. But I mean, did you watch that Bucks game? Because I watched every second of it. And,
I did not.
Oh, that game was so beautiful. I don't know if you saw the stats, but that no look bounce pass that Luka gave to Maxi Kleber in the late fourth quarter where Maxi takes it. He slams it. Oh, man. I mean, Giannis was contagious, just getting to the lane and dropping hammers on everybody. It was such a good game. Luka is so good.
Luka. Giannis, 1 for 7 from 3.
He was pulling. I saw him airball a couple.
Yuck.
He was just shooting. He doesn't, they clinched the 1 seed. He's just having fun. Yeah, I mean, still Giannis with 34 points. Brooke Lopez had 34 points. 34. Yeah, but you ready for this? Oh gosh, I saw this thing. It was like Brooke Lopez is quarter by quarter scoring, and it was like 2 points in the first quarter, 26 points in the second quarter, and then like 2 and 2 then again, or 2 and 4 or something like that. Like he scored like all of his points in the second quarter. But Brooks a bucket. Brooks always has like a game like once in a while where he just gives you like 6 to 10 threes and like
20. He took 12 threes and made 6 of them.
I mean, Brooke Lopez is one of the best 7-foot shooters in the league.
That's crazy, actually. Holy cow, I should watch that game. I might watch a recap of it.
Oh, bro, you have to. That game was awesome, man. That game was one of the best games of the bubble, in my opinion.
Man's the best 3-point shooter on the Bucks, dude.
Who?
Brooke Lopez.
He is. No, he definitely is. He's the best 3-point shooter and the second best defender. Behind Giannis is the best defender. Brooke is so good, man. Brooke is the best shooter and the second best defender. Brooke is probably going to be second team starting center if Bam gets classified as a forward and not a center. It just depends how they do the voting. Brooke is.
I would not doubt that.
Man, Jacob, we've done this whole podcast, and I haven't talked about my Miami Heat yet. Are you proud of me? It's just been, they don't care. Jimmy hasn't played the last 3 games. They blew a couple leads. Tyler Hero balled out. I will want to talk about that. Against the Suns, I've been on record. I've told Jacob and I've told our friend Nate, who our friend Nate is a Cavs fan, but he's also like the biggest Devin Booker fan on the planet, so he's a low-key Suns fan. And I told him, I was like, dude, I hope the Suns beat us tomorrow because I want the Suns in the playoffs. But so without Kendrick Nunn, who had to leave the bubble, who he's back now and he's quarantining, or he's getting back tomorrow and quarantining, he should be on pace to be back by the first round. And then Dragic is feeling better. They're just kind of holding out on him because of the playoffs. And then Jimmy wants to play, as I said, Monday against the Pacers. He wanted to play against the Suns yesterday, but the team wouldn't let him. They said, Jimmy, relax, we're playing the Suns. But, I mean, last night with Point Hero, as the Heat's Twitter was calling it, Tyler Hero goes for 25 points. He goes 1 for 4 from 3, but 10 for 16 overall. He goes for 10 assists, 8 rebounds. Him and Duncan with 25 apiece. Bam he had 18. He hasn't been looking that aggressive. He's talked about how he's not leading. He's not playing aggressive. But, I mean, this team's making noise in the playoffs. Jimmy's going to have fresh legs. Goran's going to have fresh legs. And Tyler has been playing point guard the whole bubble, so he's getting confident with the ball in his hand. He's getting confident with what the team thinks of him. And Kelly O's been good. Like, in their game against the Suns, and I think I was talking to you when this game was on. But I was like, what is happening right now, and why is Kelly O running the offense at all times? Like, Kelly O was just running.
It works, dude.
Like I saw this Heat media area that I follow, and they tweeted, so the Heat's offensive plan right now is let Kelly do whatever he wants. Like, Kelly was taking the ball up the court and playing iso ball like he was Carmelo on the Knicks.
Maybe he's the next Melo. You never know.
Please.
Kidding.
But I'm excited for the Heat. I had to get my little Heat shout out there. I'm just excited for this basketball. I mean, we got another probably week and a half ish. When's the last game? The Tuesday.
I don't know if by next episode if all the games will be decided or not yet. They might be, but
yeah. So Friday, August the 14th is the last day of the regular season. So the last games being the Sixers and the Rockets, the Heat and the Pacers again. So the Heat play the Pacers twice, Oklahoma and the Clippers, and then Denver and Toronto.
So it seems like the West playoffs will be decided on that Thursday. Like who's going to get that?
Our next podcast we'll have everything decided, and I guess we can kind of maybe like a playoff prediction podcast because everything will be seeding, everything will be final.
Oh, no, they still got to do the little series between the 8th and 9th seed, I think, after.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to have the...
So it'll either be the...
They'll have the play-in tournament, of course.
It'll either be the one game or two if the 9th
I'm so excited for the play-in. So. Yeah, the play-in. They'll have that. They'll have the play-in, and then it'll be... I mean, so what? Will the play-in be, Saturday, August 15th then? How are they doing good? Are they doing that right after it?
I take it it's gonna be I don't know.
That Saturday or that Sunday probably. You would think the 15th or the 16th of August.
Let me see. So the playoffs are supposed to start the 17th.
So it's going to be the 15th or the 16th then.
So I'd say it's going to... Well,
the 15th probably.
The last game's that 14th?
14th, so probably Saturday the 15th.
Saturday and Sunday if worst case.
It's definitely going to be that. Yeah, if they need it, it'll be the 16th. Dang, I feel if it does take those two games, I feel bad for that 8th seed that's got to go play LeBron the next day. You just played two playoff games back to back.
3 games back to back to back.
Yeah, you back boom boom boom. All right, well, time to go play LeBron James. Man, I'm excited. Basketball is back. What's happening? Man, that's crazy. I love basketball. This is great. This is working so well. I love it.
It's so nice to talk about it again, actual real basketball, and it's. I mean, the bubble's been working out so effectively. No positive test or anything. They've been very, very smart about it, and I think it's going to work out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
At this point,
I think so. I think they're going to ride this puppy out. Who knows what's going to happen next year? But all that matters is here and now.
Well, is there anything else you had on your plate, Nick?
No, I think we hit it pretty well. We talked about all the big moments, all the narratives, the stat lines, and I think we're ready for the last week of basketball here before the playoffs. Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I guess around the sports world, Baseball's still been happening. I think the Cardinals, are they the second team that's had positive tests?
Yeah, the Cardinals haven't played since the 25th of July.
The Cardinals haven't played in a while. They've had
25th of July.
Had some positive tests there.
Marlins were back. They played the Mets and got destroyed. The Mets destroyed them. I mean, they're pretty. Hockey's looking good. I mean, bro, your Penguins are already gone.
Penguins already lost. They lost to the Canadians.
Yeah, were they playing the Canucks or the Maple Leafs or the Winnipeg?
They played the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, Montreal. Winnipeg's not a team anymore, right? Those guys are like their franchise.
Winnipeg Jets. I'm pretty sure the Jets are still a team.
Yeah, but aren't they like New York now? I don't know. I don't know hockey.
No, they're still a team. They're still the Jets. There's a New York Islanders and there's a New York Rangers.
And then how I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I haven't watched a game of hockey yet. How are the Jackets doing?
The Jackets,
are they still in it?
Pretty sure are still. Yeah, no, they're going to a game 5. They blew a 3-0 lead with 3 minutes left.
Are they doing best of 5 or best of 7?
Best of 5 in the first round, yeah.
Ooh, so this is what? Oh, today. So today is game 5. So whoever wins this advances between them and the Maple Leafs. Ooh, I might have to watch that game. That's big.
Oh no, and then in the soccer world, the Champions League first round has been going on. I don't think there's been too much noise. Chelsea kind of already got knocked out. I mean, I knew they were going to get knocked out. Barcelona won their game.
That goal by Messi. Did you see it where he fell on the ground, got up, and then kicked the ball as he fell on the ground again and put it in the corner? Oh, he's the greatest. I saw that goal, man, and I was like, he kicked, he fell, kept control and dribbling the ball on the ground, got up and freaking dolphin dived backwards and kicked it in.
Yeah, I mean, I follow an account that posts every single goal that happens pretty much in the top leagues, and
that
it was impressive. I watched that one.
Beautiful. No, Messi is the GOAT. I mean, Ronaldo is great. Ronaldo is dominant, but Messi's the GOAT, man. Come on.
Oh yeah, I mean, they go 1-2, but there's no one that can touch Messi. But
every sport's got that 1-2. You got LeBron and Jordan. You got,
except hockey. Hockey's got that one pretty solid GOAT, I'd say. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky's up there. I've been my hockey buddies that live up in Cleveland tell me Wayne Gretzky is overhyped, and I'm like, I know nothing about hockey, and he's the only hockey name I've ever known, so I don't believe you. And then football. I guess it could be Tom Brady. Football could go so many ways. It's like Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady and Drew Brees.
When you think GOAT, you kind of think quarterback, which, I mean, you can kind of go
Tom Brady, Jerry Rice. It's going to be, in about 10 years, it's going to be Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, let's be honest. But
I think
at the end of his $500 million deal.
At the end of his career, I think Pat Mahomes will go down as the greatest quarterback.
I think so, because I think he's going to win lots more, man. Football it looks like it's happening. Maybe.
They've been having training camps. I haven't heard any news that it's not going to happen. I think a couple of teams have said they're not going to allow fans in, no matter what at this point, which is understandable. I can totally see that.
Yeah, who cares? They're playing sports. Do it the safe way. Do it the right way. If you
want to, look at baseball right now. They have really no protocols, and two of the teams have already set up for.
It's just you got to play it right. You got to play it safe. It's going to be hard for any sport to work that's not in the bubble. But you've looked. The MLS was shaky at the start, but they were the first team to do this, and I don't want to put hate on the soccer there, but. They don't got the resources and the money and the stuff that the NBA has, and it shows why the NBA has killed this. Because to be fair, besides football, they're probably the biggest sports league in America right now, and they're killing it. Hockey I haven't seen any problems with it, but soccer did start off a little rocky. They lost the Dallas team and the Orlando team as well.
Yeah, I think a team or two kind of did not go to Orlando to begin with.
But since then they've been good. It's gonna be hard for football.
But they've been in the same bubble as the NBA, so the teams that are there.
The bubble works.
Yeah, the bubble. It's proven. It's good, but it's kind of, it would be hard to do football just because there's so many people on a team.
53 people.
It'd be so hard to keep that many people and coaches like safe and kind of in one place. I mean, that's gonna be a huge facility if you need for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, anything you have to say, Nick?
I don't think so. No, I think with that being said, Jacob, hit him with the outro.
Well, thank you guys for listening as always. We'll be back, like we said, next week with hopefully all the NBA will be concluded. We can talk about the next step, which is the playoffs, and make sure to check us out on all of our platforms. We got YouTube, we've live streaming on Twitch. If you're here right now, thanks for being here. And like I said, we'll see you guys again next Sunday. Bye.